Welcome back to our 5-part series about making 2025 the best year yet. In the first and second one, we talked about clearing the noise and choosing a path. But in this one, we're going to add actual fuel to the fire. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of relentless action. We're going to pursue relentless action in our goal today. So let's start with a little bit of a definition. So what do I mean when I say relentless action? So this is about consistent momentum and consistent things moving toward your goal. It's not about being busy. It's about being consistent, even if it's not fun or it's unexciting. Procrastination or inaction is going to be the giant deficit to anything that you're trying to pursue. So what we're trying to do is to change the script on that, and we're going to do very small, consistent steps to get us headed in the right direction every day. We don't want to have a situation to where we're trying to do a bunch of work and then we're not going to do any work. We're going to do a bunch of work and then we're not going to do any work. I find that a lot of people who think that they're productive actually run into this. So they come into work and they're balls to the wall for the first 2 hours, and then they hit a tank and they're done. And they just finish out and they fizzle out for the rest of the day. That's not where I want you guys to be. I want you to be doing small actions all the time. So think of little drips into a bucket. It takes a long time to fill the bucket, but eventually it gets full and you don't tire out in the process. First off, let's identify some of the problems or obstacles that you could run into while you're pursuing relentless action. Number one is a fear of failure or perfectionism. That's just where you either fear that you're going to fail, or number two, you're just like, it's not quite what I wanted, so I'm not ready to go just yet. Number two, lack of motivation. So just be sitting around going, I don't know. I don't think if I want to get started or not, Number three, the feeling overwhelmed. Number four, distractions. See some of my other videos for getting over some of these distractions. And number five, a really important one, is just analysis paralysis. Just this point to where you're looking over everything and you just can't decide what you want to do next. It's super important to just go. You can make some of those changes along the way, but make sure that you do get started and don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Let's talk about a few ways that you can overcome these obstructions. So first off, breaking down the large tasks are super important. Make sure that you're not, going into one thing and just trying to tackle the entire thing. Break it up. Make it small pieces so you can get little wins throughout of it. In one of my other videos, I mentioned time blocking and scheduling. Super duper important here. Make sure that you put time on the calendar for the things that you're going to do. Make sure that you're minimizing your distractions and embrace an imperfect action. Like, understand, it doesn't have to be perfect when you first start off. You're going to move forward. That leads me to the next one, which is building consistent momentum on small wins. So if you're going to go for a run, maybe like, I put my shoes on. That's fantastic. I went for a walk around the block. If you've never ran before and you've never exercised before, that's a pretty big win. So just take the win and tomorrow walk around the block twice. And then finally is find accountability. Like, whether you make a chart on the wall that you keep track of your own things, or you have an accountability partner. Either way that you go about that, just make sure that there's some mechanism in place to make sure that you're tracking what you're doing and what you're not doing, to be sure that you're going to actually get these things done. Now that we've gone over some of the obstacles and you've got a good idea of what might happen, let's talk about cultivating some habits that are going to help you get to relentless action. First off, just focus on building the habits. It's important that you have structure and that you build sustainable habits over all of this. It's not about doing 30 things the first day. It's about building habits to where eventually you're doing 30 things and you're getting that consistency to it. So habit forming is a video all in itself, and you should YouTube it if you haven't. There are several books on this subject that I think is fantastic, and you need to have an understanding of cue and routine and reward. But that's a video for another day. For the purposes here, really just kind of understand that this is about making it a habit to always be pursuing that action. If you're going to make 5 phone calls a day, make 5 phone calls every day. If you get that started and it becomes routine, it's going to be very easy for you to continue it over the long haul. It's not something that you're going to have to work at all the time. So I mentioned starting small and building on small steps. And that's super important whenever you're trying to build a routine of relentless action. It's important that you start with little things, because what you don't want to do is burn out early. You don't want to get to a point to where you didn't do day 2, 3, and 4 because you'll never get to day 5. Make sure that you're building on small progress. And when I've said progress, I really want you to be tracking this. I really want you to do something. I have a video called Daily Review, and this is something that I still do after, I think it's been 2 years now. This is just basically a page that tracks like a checklist of things that I do every day. At this point, that checklist has gotten pretty big, but I'll be honest, I get through that most days by noon. I get a ton of things done because I'm tracking the progress and I've slowly built that consistency. It's also about rewarding yourself for taking action though. Make sure that if you do good, give yourself a treat. I know that seems kind of playful and a little bit childish, but in all honesty, it's super important to understand that you can reward yourself, whatever you think that reward should look like. Be patient, be persistent. Understand that nothing is going to happen fantastically overnight. You need to build slowly. Great athletes did not get there by just waking up one day and being great athletes. They practice relentlessly, day after day, and practicing their craft and finally perfecting it. But even if you ask the masters, most of them would say that they have a lot to learn, and that is true. Reflect and adjust. Another part of the daily review that I do every morning, I go back and I look at yesterday and I give myself a grade. I take a look at what I got done, what I didn't get done, make some notes in the margins of what I think I should do better, what I can do better on, and that just gives me the ability to kind of grade myself on how to get better at what it is that I do on a daily basis and get better at pursuing that relentless action. So just to do a quick recap so that you know what it is that we talked about today, we defined relentless action. We talked about its importance. We talked about some of the obstacles that you're going to come into, and we talked about how we can build habits to pursue relentless action. I want to make sure that it's important that you guys understand that this is a 5-part series. The 5 steps that I'm taking to make sure that 2025 is my best year yet. Quite honestly, it's going very well. I'm getting a lot of freedom. I'm getting a lot of traction. I'm making a lot of videos. And quite honestly, I'm pursuing some of my better passions. But I'm interested to see what you think. Comment below. That's what the comments are for. Tell me what you're pursuing this year. Tell me what you think of the videos. Just tell me anything you want to talk about. Do it in here below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, because that's important. The algorithm loves it. Thank you very much for watching.